To understand the rising giant that is modern China, you must first understand the century it was brought to its knees. Close your eyes for a moment and picture this. It's the early 1800s. The most powerful empire on earth isn't the British, and it isn't the Americans. It's China, the Qing dynasty, a land of immense wealth, ancient culture, and a civilization that had been thriving for millennia. Now, imagine you're a British merchant. You're desperate to get a piece of that wealth, their silk, their tea, their porcelain, but you have a problem. They don't want anything you're selling. To them, you're a barbarian from a distant land. Their empire is self-sufficient. Your silver is flooding into their treasury, and your coffers are running dry. So, what do you do when a nation won't trade with you on their terms? You find a product they can't refuse. You find their weakness. And the British Empire, along with others who would soon follow, found one of the most devastating weaknesses in human history: addiction. They weaponized a drug: opium. This isn't a dark footnote in a history book. This was a calculated, ruthless strategy. When the Chinese emperor pleaded with the British queen, begging her to stop this poison from destroying his people, what was the response? The response was cannons. This is the violent, brutal genesis of what China remembers, in its very soul, as the century of humiliation. For 100 years, from the 1840s to the 1940s, China was brought to its knees. It wasn't just one war. It was a systematic dismantling. The British started it to protect their drug trade. Then the French joined in. Then the Americans demanded their own privileges. And then, perhaps most painfully, a modernized Japan invaded, unleashing unspeakable brutality. Think about that phrase, the century of humiliation. It's not just about lost wars. It's about a proud civilization forced to sign treaties at gunpoint, giving away its ports, its sovereignty, its dignity. It's about watching its cities filled with drug dens, orchestrated by foreign powers. It's about being carved up like a pie, divided into spheres of influence, where foreign laws ruled over Chinese soil. It was a century where China was weak. It was divided. It was exploited. It was bleeding out. And every single Chinese history textbook today, every geopolitical move, every fierce expression of national pride is viewed through the searing memory of that century. It is the deep, unhealed wound that explains the modern world's most powerful rising nation. This wasn't just history. This was a national trauma. And to understand the world today, you have to understand this story.